You know damn well I'm coming up in here talking about that Jeff Hardy angle. So let me get this straight. Fans complain the product is not entertaining, which it's not, by the way. They then do something ballsy, go out of their way to make it entertaining, and now everybody's complaining. I also want to make mention that that segment was not happening without Jeff Hardy's approval. So everybody that has their panties in a bunch, maybe you forgot when Vince McMahon killed himself in a car accident or a car explosion on live television just for entertainment. We're going to talk about CM Punk mocking the Jeff Hardy angle arrest, the Jeff Hardy angle arrest as well. And we're going to talk about the NBA has a set date of July 31st to which they want to resume their season activities. Hit the like button, subscribe, push this out there. Go nowhere else. You know, you have these people, and by these people I pretty much mean all of us, that are constantly clamoring to say that the WWE product is not entertaining. And let's be real here. For the most part, it's not. And if you don't see that, I'm sorry that you're one of the few that don't. SmackDown opens up yesterday with an edgy intro. We see a car that is supposedly crashed into a curb. We see Elias laying on the ground on a stretcher gurney, obviously assuming that he was the victim of what appears to be a hit-and-run accident. The police are obviously on the scene. Renee Young is you know, calling it, saying what's going on, talking to everybody. The police get the vehicle information and it comes up as Jeff Hardy. Now, before anything even persuaded after this, I said to myself, WWE is doing a drunk hit-and-run angle with Jeff Hardy. We then get cops yelling and screaming at a different location. They run a little bit outside of the vehicle, and they see Jeff Hardy, who appears to be drunk or intoxicated, needing help to get to wherever he needs to get to. So at this point, it looks like, if you put two and two together, Jeff Hardy was driving the vehicle intoxicated, he hit Elias, and that's all there is to it. The officer picks up a bottle that's full, by the way, and I'm going to get to this because CM Punk actually took to Twitter to mock the entire segment, and I actually thought it was hilarious what he said. And Jeff Hardy's being carried, disoriented, and so have you or whatnot. Before I get to what CM Punk said, the reaction on social media was potentially negative. And here's what I don't understand. There is a fine line between entertainment and overboard entertainment. This is neither. What I don't get is the people that are being negative and complaining that they used a real-life situation with Jeff Hardy being a drug addict or a former alcoholic and incorporating it into their television are complaining about entertainment. WWE has you right where they want you. You're talking about it. They don't give a shit what you say. And if they do, they'll probably block you on Twitter. But, these people, some of these people, are the same people saying that the product has no entertainment. So they do something borderline edgy and give you that entertainment, and now you're complaining, which makes you a hypocrite. I had no problem with it. I have people in my family that have battled addiction. I have people in my family that are still battling addiction. I have absolutely no problem with it because I know at the end of the day, it is WWE and it is a storyline. The reason why things that WWE has done in the past, edgy storylines and things that made good entertainment will never work in today's world is because not everyone, but a vast majority of people, everybody gets offended. Everybody gets offended. There was nothing wrong with the segment. And a lot of people are saying, how dare they? Even some people in Jeff Hardy's family. Can I make mention real quick? I can almost put every dollar that I own on the fact that Jeff Hardy approved this segment. When it comes to a real-life segment, I do not think that WWE is going to approach a real-life situation and not get his approval. It's not a new guy, it's Jeff Hardy, okay? Vince McMahon got Jeff Hardy's approval, and they went with it, and it was entertaining, and it was good. And here are the people that are complaining about it constantly. What was wrong with it? It shook up the Intercontinental Championship tournament, and I still think Jeff Hardy is somewhere in this tournament. But, what is wrong with it? Had they said something? Have they taken a shot at somebody that passed away? That'd be a different story. There's nothing wrong with this. This is entertainment, okay? And it makes for entertainment, because once you take the realm of what is real and what is storyline and you put them together, to me, somebody who's been watching for 15 plus years, that's entertainment. That's what I want to watch, okay? Let's talk about what CM Punk said. This is great. CM Punk took to Twitter and mocked the opening angle from this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. For those of you that had missed it, the story is that Jeff Hardy apparently crashed his car into Elias. Elias was taken into an ambulance and the driver supposedly fled the scene. The police found Hardy in the bushes near a building, and the claim was that he smelled like alcohol, so he was taken away in handcuffs. The storyline plays out Hardy's history with substance abuse, which is on pat with what the WWE has done in the past with other wrestlers. It looks like the storyline is leading towards the revelation that Hardy was framed, which I do believe. I think that they're going towards the fact that they're going to frame Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy for something that it looks like Sheamus did. The likely culprit in all this is Sheamus, since he's been trash-talking Hardy in recent weeks. CM Punk mocked how the police officer, played by an independent wrestler, a lot of you guys know this, that certain guys that come out, certain guys that play different characters in and around television are usually independent wrestlers, sniffed the beer alcohol bottle that wasn't spilled, so he's mocking the fact that the bottle wasn't even spilled, while calling out Hardy's name as if he was calling bingo numbers. The storyline has already drawn a ton of negative attention from fans on social media who are not on board with his abuse history. So sorry. In fact, his brother Matt took to Twitter to let everyone know how happy he is now that he is with AEW. Matt Hardy didn't say anything about the segment. He pretty much just said he's happy that he's in AEW. CM Punk said, and this was the tweet, "What is happening, WWE on Fox?" CM Punk says, LOL, 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 at the cop sniffing the full beer bottle that didn't get spilled, then saying, "Jeff Hardy like he's calling bingo numbers, I'm dying." If there's anything I love more than CM Punk, it's CM Punk on Twitter. What's wrong with it? It's television. Nobody's always happy. And listen, I'm going to say this. I never agree with when WWE says people aren't happy or people are never satisfied. Well, the product's not good. Let's just be honest with you. Weekly Raw and SmackDown is not good. They've done some things right, they've done some things bad, but for the most part, it's been pretty unbearable. But Raw, on the other hand, is doing a slightly better job of making entertaining television. SmackDown was okay yesterday. It was what it was. I have no problem with the Jeff Hardy segment whatsoever. At all. Everybody's a critic. I'm a critic too. That's my job here. But I didn't see anything wrong with it. So we're going to see what happens going into the championship tournament going forward. But on to our next topic. The NBA is targeting a July 31st potentially to resume the season, a source says. The National Basketball Association has targeted July 31st as its date to resume games, a league source has confirmed to CNBC. The NBA targeted July 31st. The league held its own Board of Governors call on Friday to present proposals for reopening. The NBA announced it was in discussions with the media partner Disney on using the company's Orlando campus to host its games. Bucks co-owner reiterated his prediction the NBA could be back in 6 to 8 weeks. "I think at the end of the day we'll be in Orlando at Disney," he said. "The question is going to be, will we have all 30 teams there, or will we have 24? Whatever the numbers end up being, hopefully by the middle of July we start playing again." I'm curious to see what the NBA does in terms of, are they going straight to the playoffs, or are they going to play more games? I think they're going to play a couple of games or more games first to go straight to the playoffs. I think some teams are going to be frustrated. Damian Lillard is not going to be happy if they go straight to the playoffs. The NBA is contemplating a variety of concepts to restart, including playing on Disney's ESPN complex. The league's statement announced the discussions that it wants to use the location as a single site for NBA campus for game practices and housing. LA Lakers forward Jared Dudley told the reporters on May 20th, if the NBA does return in a bubble environment where players remain locked down on campuses for the remainder of the rest of the season, players will not be forced to remain on playing sites. James Harden stated during an interview that he would feel comfortable returning when the pandemic has calmed down all the way to a minimum. "I want it to be safe," said James Harden. "I want it to be entertaining for the fans and players to get out there and compete. As soon as we can get this ramped up, I'm ready to go. I feel the majority of players feel the same way." And he's right. On May 8th, the NBA granted clubs permission to open practice sites in markets that have relaxed stay-at-home orders in preparation for the return on May 8th. The league became the first U.S. Pro League to suspend its game due to COVID-19 on March 11th. The second Rudy Gobert tested positive. This is the landmark I have for it. The second that Rudy Gobert tested positive, everything went to shit. And by everything, I literally mean everything. The NHL canceled the next day. The MLB delayed their season. What else happened? The NFL, this is going to be interesting. I'm very intrigued to see what the NFL is going to do come September, come August, late July when they start rolling into their training camps. What's going to happen? How's the NFL? Because if you think about it, a lot of people think, it's not going to be affected, but we are on the tip of June, and we're making progress, but it doesn't look like we're going to see really anything until earliest beginning of July. The MLB would like to start early July. I don't know how realistic that is. Again, they're opening training camps, so this is the first step into getting players who haven't really played at all. It's one thing for a normal human being to go and play basketball, but it's another thing for an NBA athlete to be off of his terrain for 2 months and not play. That is definitely going to affect them. So that is good that they have their training camps open. The same thing, I don't know, whoever said it, the Knicks are opened, and if there's anything the Knicks need, it's training. That's no insult, though. I love my team, as terrible as we've been. This is the news, folks. So the NBA is the first league to put a date. I know the MLB earlier had stated they wanted to do early July. I don't know how realistic that is. But now we have the NBA putting an official date on it. The NBA wants to start on the last day of July, meaning that if, regardless of what happened, you probably wouldn't see the NBA Finals till late September, early October. I'm going to bank on the first couple weeks of October being the NBA Finals. And it just goes to show you what's going to happen following the next season, because people don't realize how many things this actually screws up. They can do this, that's great, but then now what happens for next season? Is it going to delay? When is it ever going to fix the trend? But that's the news I got for you today. Not the longest video today in the world. We're just going to keep rolling out news. I think it's going to be time for some Fortnite and different kind of gameplay going on. You guys can always drop in the comments anything that you'd like me to talk about or anything you think that is worth talking about. I appreciate everybody watching. As always, stay safe. Have a great one.